Hello. I'd like to cover the modules for the IDS website builder. The modules that I'm referring to are these icons over here. Now, to cover them in detail would obviously take a long time and be a very long video. But this is just an overview. So, when you start to want to develop using this builder, this is just to give yourself an orientation of what these do, how it works. And I'm just going to touch on some of them and some details that I think might be helpful. So we just set the page to wide. It's not necessary. It's just a preference of mine. Okay, so each module works in a similar fashion, in that if you just click it, it will then bring up a selection, and you can then select a section, and it will then just place it anywhere on your website. Now, this is usually not what you want. You can drag it to where you want it. So you can see the blue line there. So we want a module just underneath there, just a layout, a new layout. We want to add something in there. And we want to add it with a stacking, a vertical stacking, and there you can see it now. So we've got the block, which is a vertical layout. In that block is saying that the contents would be stacked vertically, so there they are, and they made these two blocks vertical as well. You could change them to change it horizontal, so whatever you put inside there will be stacked horizontally. The idea here is not about the layout, but just how it works. So you would just drag it in, and then when you click on it, it will then give you the properties on the side here. In the next video, I'm going to speak a lot more about the layout and how it works. Once you understand this layout, this block, it will then make a lot of difference in how you develop your site, and it's just a repetition. Everything is a block, and inside the block you will then add in other items here. These blocks is the same as that one. These are just empty. Those ones have got some content. So now we have text. We want to add a text in, so we can just drag it in, and we then select the text closest to what we want. So it says a title. There it is inside this block, and then we can, if we say we want another one, another text inside there, we just drag it down and make sure the blue line is where you want it to be. You can then give it padding. Select this one, give it a bit of a padding or margin there, and there you got text in. Then you can go along and have a look to see what it looks like in the different screen sizes. Now, that concept of just dragging and dropping these modules in is the same. So exactly the same with a picture. I want a picture in this block, drop it, picture style, then you will open up a gallery, or where you uploaded your pictures to. Let's just say we want to go into the gallery. You type in a subject that you want. Let's say you've typed in a C, and then there it loads it. It's the same for a gallery. If you want a gallery, drag it in. Type of gallery, select the gallery that you want, and there it is. The properties are on the right hand side. You can change the pictures as you want. There's got some pictures. We say we don't want that, and we want to add a picture, bring it in, and whatever it is, we can apply it and bring it in. Now, that is obviously a picture gallery. That is a single picture. Media is when we want to bring in some YouTube. Here we've got a few different presets. YouTube, video, you bring in your own video, and different types of video suppliers, BK Video and whatever these are. I'm not even sure myself, Spotify, and so forth. You're more than likely usually just bring in a YouTube video, and there it is. There's your YouTube ID. So when you go to YouTube, at the top of the page, you'll see an ID. Put in the ID number here, you pull it in, simple as that, there it is. and then you've got some other settings here that you want to show the controls and so forth. Maps is Google Maps. You bring that in. They've got various types of Google Maps, and not Google Maps, various types of maps. It's showing this here because what you need to do is you need to first go to Google and get permission by putting in links and so forth. You'll need to just Google that, but the maps facility is available. You can bring in a shape, you can bring in a button, same sort of story. There's a button, and there's a button, yeah. So I'm going to bring in a button underneath there. Bring it in, drag it, drop it, click the style that you want. It'll stay selected. You add in a link that you want over here. It's a web page link. Well, I wanted to go to a page. I want to go to the button. I want to go to the contact page. There it is here. You change the font, you change the style, the hovering, whatever it is, the size, the spacing, and you put your button in. A form, it's the same story, just drag it in. Where do you want your form? There I want it. You select the form that you want. I'll usually just bring in a default form here. There it is. And then there's quite a lot of settings for the form, but then you just change the setting here. The form it has a lot of different settings and it can do a lot. Obviously it can't do everything. It's not one of those, you can't program it, but it has actually a lot of things that you can change on the form. It's actually very well done. You can bring in your menu over here. Languages, this is obviously, this is a very nice function where you bring in a language. So you want to bring in another language, so you want to bring in, we just click on the South African flag there, and then we can add the language that you want. Just let's say we want Afrikaans. And obviously we need two, because otherwise it just doesn't need to select a language. And we say English is the first one. So now you have a selector here. Now I don't want to go into languages, but while I'm here, language is, so what you will do is whenever you select any item, you will see a language selector. So if we go to select the language, so whenever we select we have that selector in there, and now we select some text, and we go edit text. We then can change that text to whatever the language you want. So if we had to put in Afrikaans there, we would write an Afrikaans text. And so when we arrive on the website and we click Afrikaans, then all the text will then change to Afrikaans or whatever language you make that. This is a very strong function. So now you've got the selector, language selector, wherever you have drawn it in. Now this you wouldn't have in your website itself. You would probably have it right at the top of your website somewhere. That's one of the first things that you will see. But that doesn't matter for this demo. So it'll be somewhere. You can have multiple languages. So we just say, okay, we've got Afrikaans and we've got English. So whenever you select an item to edit, and you say edit, you will now have a choice. So when you select Afrikaans, you can then select your Afrikaans here. So we can actually see, just to sort of say 1, 2, 3, just so that I can show you. Now if we go to English, you see it comes back to another one. So basically it duplicates everything, and then each one you will then just put into the language that you want. That is very powerful and very it can be used easily. You can add languages to it, and but just remember, wherever you go, the same thing will be. It doesn't matter where you are. You will see this language thing coming up to change in the text. The blocks I'm going to cover separately in another video, because this is a very important one. Once you understand layout and the blocks, you've almost home and dry. The rest is just to fill in with a few other modules. But just to show it, same drop and drag. Where do you want to put the block? I want a new block there. And in that, we just wait for the module to load, and you've got a number of examples. For example, now I want a welcome block there. Click it, and then we will have a new block. You can bring it in. And these blocks are all, as far as I know, are all set up for the different screen sizes. And then, of course, you will just edit them as you require. Edit here, edit there. You edit right on the page itself. Okay. And then done. And then, of course, the language as you require. Commerce is a huge section. It's obviously shopping. So you'll bring a commerce page in. It looks like this. You'll just bring it in, and then from there you will then put your products on. You will have all the settings and adding products on the side here. This is quite a big section, and it's actually quite comprehensive, and you can quite easily sell products on this website quite easily. And if you're based in South Africa, then the PayFast payment gateway is set up for this. It's already connected. You just need to then add in. There it is there, PayFast, and then you just, once you're registered on the PayFast site, they will give you, you'll enable it. They'll give you a merchant ID, a merchant key, and a passphrase which you set up in the admin, and that's it. Done. You're connected. All right. Blog is also a big section to cover. Blog is a web log, and you can then select the style, like your main blog is there, and the rest follow, and then you will just add your blogs to this as you require. Edit post, new blog post. So you create a new blog post, you write it in there, and then it just falls in as blogs normally do. Okay, under social is all the social media stuff, the connections to Instagram, Facebook, some sites that we're not so familiar with, Twitter, Telegram, so forth. You just link them up. In doing so, as you click the one, it'll give you your normal properties on the side, and then you just connect up your Instagram, for example, with the relevant information that will then draw it through here. And you'll continue there. Okay. Advanced is really just a lot of modules that are of an advanced nature, but that doesn't really fit into a specific category like Google Calendars. There's quite a bit of those. If you want to put in tables, AdSense, your Google AdSense, you want to put in a banner. I'm not even sure why this is here. This is a subscribe banner. You just go to a particular website and you hook it up there. I'll come back to HTML now. Countdown, just something that counts down or counts up. Talk to is very nice. It is a online chat through your website. Zendesk is a support system. This is a Talk to. I think you can get a free one. Zendesk, I think, is a subscription, and there's some WhatsApp connections there. For those that know HTML, you can create an HTML block. You can then write the code for your HTML, and whatever you do there will come up onto your website, which means that you can basically create anything that you want to do in HTML, and it will come up on your site, which means that whatever you don't find here, you can just bring in HTML. Obviously, you need to know that code. There's not an awful lot you can do in straight HTML. I don't think HTML is logical at all, but it's more just for front end. And that covers an overview for the modules on the IDS website builder.